So let's play a little Brit.
A little Brit.
A little bit.
Oh,
of,
a little Brit.
A little British.
Are you a little fucking Brit over there? That's my Brit. That's my little Brit accent. Oh, you little fucking Brit over there. It's terrible.
Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band or artist and we break down one of their records. We listen to the entire record. We really get into the nitty gritty,
really
pieces of it. I don't know what I'm saying.
Pieces.
And we talk about it. We try to have a good time. We give our biggest bangers. We give some stinkers sometimes. I don't know.
Pieces
While you're listening, because I know you got nothing better to do. That's why you're listening to us. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to Spotify, give us 5 stars, and 5 stars only, please, and thank you. All the social media is at Asinine Radio. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that bullshit. We also have a phone number. You can call us. You can leave us a voicemail. You could shoot us a text. The phone number is 503-893-5307, so get into that. And we have a Discord server. If you want to join that, let us know. We'll send you the link and join other friends of the pod. And, we could all talk shit on Jeff. So, a couple shout outs. Last week we got a voice message from a guy named Ignacio on Instagram. Left us a great fucking voice message. He listened to the pod. He dug it. And thank you for the nice words. I won't play it because, I don't know. I'm sure we didn't ask him if we could play it. So. Just thank you for listening. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It was actually like a really nice message, and I would normally make fun of somebody in any capacity, that chance I can, but there was like nothing to make fun of. He was really nice, and then it warmed my heart. It warmed my heart.
Same here. I was so stoked about it.
I'm like Jim Carrey in The Grinch on Christmas. Like my heart grew after listening to that message.
Yeah, I guess he said he found us from our Turnstile episodes. That's pretty rad. He's from what do you say he was from? Was it Chile?
Chile.
Yeah. So that was rad. Like
Chile.
That's so cool, man.
Like
Somebody from South America listening to us. That's so sick.
Oh, I thought
somebody
it was
outside
live
of the US.
from Chile's, the bar.
From Chile. Yeah, well, he probably was from Chile's. Yeah. That would make more sense. No, I'm just kidding. But we also had somebody else reach out to us on Instagram. This guy named Ted. Won't give out his last name. But he messaged us saying he listened to the last podcast. He really dug that as well. He asked us to share our thoughts on a band called The Hotelier. I've never heard of this band. And with their record Home Like No Place Is There. I've just never heard of it. I mean, I'm down to check it out and listen, but...
We are going to listen to it, and we're going to tell you our thoughts next week, unless we forget, which is highly possible.
Yeah, we might forget. But yeah, thank you to Ignacio and Ted for listening and reaching out to us. It's fucking awesome. So keep listening, tell all your friends, and give us 5 stars. Remember, 5 stars. 5 stars, please. So that's all I got for the intro. What are we doing today, Jeff?
We are doing Peter Tosh's Equal Rights.
That's all I got. So, Jeff, what's your origin story with the Peter Toshes? Go.
I'd never really got into reggae until I worked at Virgin, and this guy Jerry, who worked at Virgin, I've mentioned him several times in the pod.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that if I ever saw him again, I would try and like get his number or talk to him. And one time I did see him at a match. I went in front of the pod Sohill to see Liverpool play. I think it was like Chelsea or somebody at the.
I think I was there with you
at the Coliseum, and I saw Jerry at the fucking
live one. Okay.
It was me, June, Sohill, maybe Sloan was there too. But I saw Jerry at the fucking at the match, And in my mind, I was like, okay, here's your chance. This is like your boyfriend here. Go talk to him. But I was really, really drunk. So when my mind was saying, hey, say this, my mouth was like, hey, Jory. So it came off terrible, and I did not get his number, and he's again lost to the sands of time. But Jerry, who was I think a couple years older than us, he turned me on to like reggae, and my section of Virgin Records was to organize like the reggae section, the reggaeton, and the world section, which kind of bled a little bit into the jazz. It was a lot of like world jazz stuff, a lot of like the Brazilian jazz and things like that. Yeah. So I just stared at these reggae artists every single day that I worked, and I just started like listening to them. And we just had bins of free CDs at the time. And Peter Tosh, his album Legalize It, because I've just never been one to like smoke, but that album artwork is so aggressively like pot, right? It's so aggressive. And I was like, okay, this has got to be pretty good. And Jerry's like, yeah, it's fucking fantastic. Listen to it. Gave me all these factoids because you know everything about reggae. And I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And that was like really my first like deep dive into reggae. Because I've liked reggae before that, but it was mostly Bob Marley. And then at that moment, I'm 100% like Peter Tosh team all the way. If we're just comparing like the three, Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley. Yeah. I'm 100% Peter Tosh.
I get it. I totally get it. All right, my origin story. I don't know the first time I heard Peter Tosh. I listened to Bob Marley a lot growing up. My parents had the Bob Marley Legend CD.
It's one of the top selling albums of all time.
Yeah, so they played that CD a lot growing up. And it's funny because my parents never really smoked. They were never pothead, or they maybe smoked a few times a year, but that was about it. Like, rarely did. But yeah, no, we listened to that a lot, and I guess that kind of is my introduction to Peter Tosh, but him as like a solo artist, I don't think I got into him until you. I think you're the one who played me Legalize It. I don't know if you had an actual CD copy or burn copy. I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was through you. And then since then, I had only ever really listened to that record. And then, actually, that's it. I'd only ever really listened to that record until we started collecting vinyl and I started getting stuff on vinyl. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to say he's better than Bob Marley. He's just different because Bob Marley's pop stuff was so good. But when it came to like more straightforward reggae music, Tosh was better for sure. Better than Marley. Like Tosh took more he was more experimental with his music, I feel, than Marley ever was. But
it's really like, what do you want from your reggae music?
Yeah.
If we're just only comparing the two, what do you want from your reggae music? Do you want just something that's easy to listen to, something that's pop focused, something that's super catchy, but it's also kind of superficial? Or do you want something that's incredibly aggressive, that's very militant, not nearly as catchy as the other, but is a little bit more complex in its lyrical content and its delivery and where it draws inspiration from?
Yeah.
And I think as a kid, Bob Marley's a no-brainer because it's so easy to get into. I think the older we get and the more we want out of music, Equal Rights is this is my favorite reggae album of all time. This is fucking unreal. This is unreal stuff. And Peter Tosh is so vastly underrated as a person, not as a musician. I don't think he's a great musician, but as a person.
Yes.
Is he Persian or a person? A Persian. Yeah. A Persian. He's vastly underrated as a Persian person.
Yes.
But he just, God, the guy was he was fighting for shit in the 70s that other people in America were just kind of like pussyfooting around. And this album, when you listen to like Get Up, Stand Up, you kind of just like get up, stand up. Like, it's fun. Oh, it's the Wailer song. But it's like, he's fucking calling you out, dude. He's telling you to do something. Like, you don't just sit there and fucking take it. Like, you need to stand the fuck up and do something. And that's fun because as like Americans introduced to this, and then they really like ska predates reggae, and ska is based around earlier forms of other world music, but also mixed with like American rhythm and blues. And so reggae is based in like American rhythm and blues music. And so we don't take it that seriously. And that's why Bob Marley is so massively popular, is because his music is not serious and we don't think it should be serious. And guys like Peter Tosh, I mean, god damn, man, you watch, you first of all, you read about some of the concerts he did, then you watch some of the concerts that he did, even with Bob Marley, and the dude was an asshole. He was difficult to get along with.
Yeah.
People did not like working with him because he only fucking cared about equal rights.
Yeah, and he was a
Save
tall
the
guy too. He was
album.
like 6'4".
Yeah, he was huge.
I didn't realize he was that big. He's a tall guy.
Towered over everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why they pushed Bob Marley to the front of the Wailers, is because Bunny Wailer just not as attractive as Bob Marley or Peter Tosh, straight up. And then Peter Tosh is just kind of an asshole. He's hard to get along with because he's militant. Bob Marley's he's malleable. He's putty.
Marley was the Martin Luther King, and Tosh was the Malcolm X of the group.
I like
comparison?
I like that comparison because it gets the point across, but Bob Marley was just, I don't think just nowhere near did anything for anybody what Martin Luther King did. But I like that comparison. solid way. Because, Peter Tosh was aggressive. Dude was getting arrested in his teens, fighting during those huge riots, the Rodney riots of the late 60s. He's like driving cars to fucking shops just so his homies in the backseat can run out of the car, loot the shop, get back in the car, and drive away. All while he's doing this little stuff with the Wailers.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he got the money to legalize it because he was part of some like smuggling operation, and that's how he got the money to legalize it. Or maybe it was a Wailers record. I don't remember what it was now. But yeah, the dude was fucking crazy. He did all kinds of crazy shit like that. I mean, when you think about it too, like reading a little bit about his past. Both of his parents abandoned him when he was a baby, and he had to be. He was raised by other family members, and then he pretty much went out on his own when he was like 15, and just kind of. I mean, okay, so the story of him learning how to play guitar, it's very folklorish. You know, he goes and sees this one guy on the street, watches this one guy play the same song for like 6 hours or some shit like that, and learns everything that the guy plays, and then the guy lets Tosh play the guitar, Peter Tosh play the guitar, and he plays the song. He's like, "How'd you learn to play that?" He's like, "You taught me how to play guitar." Or he's like, "Who taught you to play guitar?" He's like, "You taught me how to play guitar." It's like, that story's a little.
But it's no different than anything we hear from Robert Johnson or any of these blues guys.
Which is which is even more ridiculous. I totally agree, but that's what I'm saying. It sounds very like a folklore, like a myth and some shit like that, you know. But you know, Peter, and then of course, in the late '80s, right before he died, he had that guitar made for him, that M16 guitar.
Yeah,
he's fucking.
That's so
nuts.
Awesome.
That's fucking
so
rad,
awesome.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool. Made from an actual like M16 fucking assault rifle.
Yeah,
I think the same assault rifle that he was robbed and ultimately shot with too. I think that was the same gun. You know what's so
weird about his death? So real quick, his death. We'll touch upon it. 1987. He's at his home, and 3 men come in, and one of the main guy, Peter Tosh had some time in the past when that guy got out of jail, he helped him get a job or gave him money or whatever, so he knew this guy, and this guy came in demanding money from Peter Tosh. Peter Tosh said, "I have no money here." So he held him. So these 3 guys held Peter Tosh and a couple other people in the house hostage, and then as more people were coming to the house, they were holding those people hostage. And then eventually there was like this kind of shootout, and Peter Tosh was shot twice in the head over money that he didn't even have in the house. So Peter Tosh was dead. Another guy died, or 2 other people died, but I can't remember who they were.
Like everybody died except for like the woman that was there. She got shot in the head, but didn't die.
But what was so weird about it, out of the 3 people who were there, the 3 shooters, only one of them was convicted, and that was the one. And the other 2, their names have never been released. What the fuck?
I know.
That's some crazy conspiracy shit right there.
Like it clearly points to like an assassination run by the government, because Jamaica barely got its independence in the early 60s, and the 60s and 70s were rife with rioting, with assassinations. The Green Bay Massacre was when the Jamaican government or the Jamaican police force cornered a bunch of ruffians and fucking executed them in the street. just straight up like
nuts.
shot them to death. There was a ton of stuff going on, and don't forget too, like 1968, that iconic picture of the two black guys on the Olympic first place, second place, third
the
place,
Black Panther
with
guys,
the hands, with their
fists in the air.
That was like the same fucking day, if not like the same week, that these massive riots happened in Jamaica because Jamaica denied entry to this guy that was basically talking bad about like the apartheid. He was talking bad about like equal rights, and he was trying to like get more recognition for all of this stuff. And that picture, what a lot of people probably don't even realize, that picture is very iconic. They were booed. They were booed off that stage and then kicked the fuck out of the stadium. Like those two guys that raised their fists like that, who got first and second place in the Olympics, mind you. That's still pretty solid. Back when the Olympics, people cared about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were booed off that stand and then kicked the fuck out of the Olympics. And it's just like this is why this album is so goddamn good, is because this is not just like Crosby, Stills, Nash, right? Acoustic stuff, talking about how bad the war is, man.
Playing
like,
at
no,
Woodstock.
This is Peter Tosh saying like, no, we need to take a stand. We need to do something. We need equal rights, or I'm going to fucking make us have equal rights. And there's a little bit of like a violent undertone to this album, and that's
absolutely.
That's what I love about this.
He criticizes people for not taking action and just laying by the wayside. Like people want peace, but they don't want to take action to get that peace. They just complain about it, but take no action.
And he goes even further to even saying like you want to go to heaven, but you won't die for it. I think that's aggressive. That is aggressive. That is like your stereotypical person who says, I'm going to live my life. I mean, I guess we can get into that song later on when we're doing it, I guess. But
we should,
dude, off the rails here. This album is so fucking good. It's unbelievable.
It's great. Yeah,
it's so unreally. It's good. It's good. It's good stuff.
It's just his death was so obviously an assassination.
Absolutely.
It's insanity that nobody talks about it.
Absolutely. And the whole like lore of him, and I mentioned it earlier, like the whole thing of him, like he did help this guy, right? He helped this guy when he was out of prison. He gave him money. He gave him a place to sleep. He even invited him to the house, which is like the party house that Tosh had. He invited him to this house, and then he paid him money to like work and stuff. And this guy was kind of like getting back on his feet and things like that. And so then the fact that he came back to rob Tosh, knowing that Tosh had no money because he had just done a bunch of shows in America that he had not got paid for yet. And so Tosh was like, I don't have any money, dude, but like you're welcome to stay here. Yeah. And then subsequently like puts everybody on their belly and executes them. Bizarre, weird, so don't strange, believe it.
All right, so let's talk about this. So there's 8 songs. We're not going to be taking a deep dive into the deluxe version, the dub versions, the outtakes,
which
all that
is
kind of
so
stuff.
good though, right? Those
the dub
pressings. Oh my god,
they were really fucking good. Yeah, the only thing that was annoying about it on Spotify was that the dub stuff wasn't grouped together. It was like 2 dub songs and an outtake or 2, then another dub song. It was like with a Weezer Deluxe,
Yeah,
it was really annoying. But
yeah, sequencing a little bad.
Yeah, but otherwise, those songs were fucking killer. So we're doing the original 8 songs that were on the record. And do we have any stinkers?
No stinkers.
No, I don't either. Do we have? How many bangers do you have?
I have 6 bangers.
Okay, so you're not really a Peter Tosh fan then.
You have 8 bangers?
I have 8 bangers. Fuck yeah, dude. They're all bangers. Come on, dude. I'm not as big on reggae as you are, but I mean, I really like, some of it. I mean, a lot of it's garbage, but
okay. Well, I the last 2 songs are not quite bangers for me. I think they're the most important songs from this album, but they are the last song I think is the most important, and then also African, the 6th song is the second most important, but like Jaw Guide, I think that's like my least favorite song, just because.
Really? Okay.
It's very mediocre.
See, with that song, so that's my 7B. With this one, I like how Peter he sings different. He sings kind of like in a lower register. He kind of draws out the notes when he sings a little bit more, something that he doesn't do on any other part of the record. So I thought that was pretty cool. But musically, I thought it was pretty, pretty average for him. Nothing really stood out musically, but still good. I just like the difference in the vocals. That's what really stood out for me on that one.
I wrote the same thing. I think it sounds great when he stretches out his vocals. He's not a great singer, but he does have like kind of a gritty rasp in his voice. When he wants to, he can kind of get in there and kind of sound like the common man. And I like that. There's some really rad like lead guitar parts too that are sprinkled in this one. But
a lot of the songs have the random kind of lead guitar parts that they come out of nowhere, honestly.
Yeah.
But they're generally very good. Actually, I think he's a pretty solid guitar player, and from everything that I've read, he taught Bob Marley how to play guitar. Like
he did.
When the Wailers formed, Peter was the only one who knew how to play an instrument. So he had to teach everybody.
He played everything. He played bass, he played guitar,
everything.
he played drums, he played keyboards, and he taught himself how to play all of these things. And then taught Bunny Wailer how to do it.
I think the only thing that he didn't do very well was singing. But then I think Bunny was the one who taught him and Bob how to sing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean the Wailers, their first album is nothing you could ever imagine. It's fucking pop. It is
Yeah.
It is like swing pop. It's strictly vocals. There's no like reggae in it whatsoever. It is pop ska. And then they transitioned into like what we know as Bob Marley and the Wailers. The first album's bad. It's just dumb. It's stupid.
It's not. I don't
stupid.
remember it being
It's fucking
bad. It's
bad.
been many years since I listened to it.
Ska's like my least favorite. Like if we're doing like Jamaican subgenres and stuff, even though ska's not a subgenre, it's the genre. Everything else is subgenres.
Yeah.
Ska's like my least favorite. It's too poppy. Don't like it.
Wait, then what's Rocksteady? I thought Rocksteady was the more pop.
I mean,
I guess I'm wrong. I don't know too much about the different genres.
We could go fucking all day for these subgenres of rocksteady and reggaeton and dance hall and all these. We can go to Mento and other things and calypso. There's hundreds of them, and they're all pretty much the same for the most part. But there's subtle nuance to it. And like when you talk about ska and reggae, they're so similar. But then you hear like you can just Google. Actually, Bob Marley himself did a fucking fantastic video, even though it looks like he's high as fuck. He did a fantastic video on the differences between ska, I think it was ska, rocksteady, and reggae, and he shows you on a guitar just a strumming pattern of the differences between the three, and it's like night and day.
Damn, you should have sent me that video.
I thought it was like a well-known video that everybody's seen.
I'd never even heard of that. But you're a bigger, like I said, you're a bigger reggae guy than me.
All right.
So you should have told me, but that's fine.
The best reggae, obviously, is third wave ska. That's a fact.
I think that's the one ska or like kind of genre that's the most hated. I really think it is.
It's universally hated by everybody.
But it's so fucking rad.
It's the best.
All right.
Okay.
So
that's your 7B. That's fine. We don't have to talk about that much. Whatever. What about Apartheid? Is that
Apartheid? That's my 6B.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, the second half of this album is a lot worse than the first half. Not to say it's bad by any means, but it's a lot worse.
It's more focused than the first half. It's more focused on one thing, and that one thing is getting his point across. The first half is very kind of also talking about equal rights, also talking about like we need to do something, but it's also like incorporating a lot of melody to it. The second half is very much like let's abandon the melody and let's just get into like the militant part of my message. And I agree. I think the first half, my top 4 bangers are the first 4 songs. Not in that order, but the first 4 songs.
I'm with you on that as well. Yeah. So Apartheid, I mean, that chorus is so catchy, but outside
so
of that,
good.
It is. Musically though, I mean, it has that kind of common reggae beat, some good percussive stuff going on, but outside of that, nothing really stands out. Oh, there's some cool guitar leads though, with that he throws on some like crazy reverb and echo on his guitar, and he kind of rips it up a little bit, but there's just like a solid lead guitar line that kind of plays through parts of it. That's pretty damn good. But yeah, otherwise, outside of that chorus, there's nothing really that stands out too much.
Yeah, I agree. Even though it's not a jokey song in any way, I couldn't help but think of the intro to Cisco Kid by Sublime when I heard
Sublime,
that
yeah.
like gunfire thing going off.
It starts out with like gunfire and it like pans across each on the stereo. It pans across the right and left headphone. Yeah, it's
Channels. Yeah,
the channels. That's what I meant to say.
I laughed. I knew I shouldn't have laughed, but I laughed.
I fucking love Cisco Kid. I love that song. That's the best Sublime song.
It's like the best and the worst Sublime song that's ever been. It's just
my God, dude.
It's so
fucking heavy.
It's so dumb. But it's so Sublime, right? It's so them.
Yeah.
Like that is like at the essence. That is like that's their Nittleshins. That is them, like at their basic moments, saying like, "Hey, what should our first song be? I don't know. Just play the tape." And it's Cisco Kid.
It's so bootleg sounding. Have we done Robin the Hood in the modern format?
I don't think so. I think we just did 40 ounces.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, dude, we gotta do Robin the Hood.
We do.
Fucking amazing record.
What's speaking of Sublime? What is your 1B?
You know what my 1B.
That's my 1B.
Wow,
too.
and you set that one up real nice. Yeah,
I
Step
knew
and
it.
Razor.
Yeah, it's not gonna not be your 1B. It's so fucking good. It's come on.
And Sublime did such an amazing cover. They're very similar in a lot of ways, but they're still that unique touch that each band has that just makes the song absolutely perfect. So
Yeah.
So this was originally written by Joe Higgs. So he was the one who helped out with the Wailers at the very beginning and everything like that. He was the one who wrote it, and it was actually about him. So lyrically it talks about, don't try to fight me. I'm gonna like whoop your ass. Like, don't judge me by my size, because he was a short guy. He was like 5'6" or 5'7", and people would like try to bully him, but then he would whoop their asses. So this is like him just kind of strutting around town, threatening people essentially. And then
It's a machismo song. It's
yeah, it didn't really apply that well to Peter Tosh, considering he was like twice the size of this Higgs guy, Joe Higgs.
Which is weird, because like 5'6" is not that short. Like it's noticeably short. Like you would notice somebody is shorter than you if your average height is 5'10" or whatever. But 5'6" isn't that short.
It's
maybe
not,
like,
no.
like Jamaicans just like really tall people. Like are they just like fucking tall dudes and dudettes over there?
It must be. I don't really know.
To write a song about how like you have to fight for your life because you're 5'6", that's not that small. I'm just saying.
It was the mean streets of are they in Kingston? I don't know. I forgot what city they're in.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Like again, Jamaica got independence. I think it was 1962. And
okay.
And then I read a lot just about like Jamaica's history and how a lot of people still think they should never have got their independence from the UK. They should have still continued to be part of the UK, because afterwards it was just, they were just rife with like poverty and corruption. Whereas like with when they were part of somebody else, they never got that because they got their money. So I don't know. It just seems like a very tumultuous country.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think it's still wild. It's still pretty corrupt. I mean, more modern things I read about the place, people vacation there a lot. It's a great vacation spot, but it's still pretty damn corrupt. But a lot of Central America is anyway. So
it's also interesting to note that Tosh, for a long time, for many years, said that this was his song, and it wasn't until legal battles happened where it came out that was like, oh yeah, well actually this guy helped me write this song. So there's that.
But I'm curious, like, had Joe Higgs if he had recorded this song back in the 60s or whatever, would it really sound like this? I mean, Peter Tosh has such a unique sound, especially from the stuff from the early 60s. I don't think anything would have sounded like this. Another version of the song would have sounded like this.
This is one of the ones where like there's little lead guitar parts scattered throughout this song that just add like some really solid nuance. But like really, it's Sly and Robbie. But like Robbie, these guys are fantastic. Sly Dunbar on the drums is good. He's super tight, but he's only doing like the hi-hat thing. and he hits that hi-hat very crisp, and there's a lot of cool little pacing issues that I like. I dig all of that. But like Robbie Shakespeare is a fucking just unreal bass player, and the way he can like set Tosh up is solid. Tosh is able to do like essentially whatever he wants because of Robbie leading Sly and then also supporting Tosh. And there's a reason why like fucking No Doubt, right? Like Hella Good and like that whole Rocksteady thing they did, they enlisted Sly and Robbie to help them with like the rhythm section.
Did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What the fuck?
Yeah. I think it's Hella Good that they're on. They like help write that song.
No shit.
These guys these guys are like fucking like royalty in the reggae realm. Straight up.
I've been meaning to go back and listen to that No Doubt record.
I've been telling you.
I know you
so
have. I know.
Good.
I honestly,
so
I don't think
good.
I've listened to it since probably late high school, so like 04, 05. I really have not listened to it in almost 20 years now, because I hated it so much back then, and I'm like, why would I listen to No Doubt? Like, I'll just listen to Tragic Kingdom or Self-Titled or Beacon Street. I've never had a desire to go back and listen to Rocksteady.
Or
even Return of Saturn, I've never really cared to.
Return of Saturn is whatever. That's throwaway because it's nothing new. It's just rehashing kind of old stuff with a little bit of what we'll hear full force in Rocksteady.
Okay.
But I think after this week you'll appreciate and you'll like Rocksteady more.
Should we do Rocksteady on the pod?
Oh, I'm so down, dude. Rocksteady's good. I like Rocksteady a lot.
We'll talk about it after the pod because. Yeah, we'll talk about it after that. We just have to remember to talk about it in an hour.
Could write it down, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
but this song, the solo, right? The solo in this song, I love it. It's a cool nod to like their rock and roll influences. If we're going back to like the ska, and the ska is influenced by the American rock and roll in part, but it's not taking over the song. It's and then like while that's happening, Robbie's hitting all them, like he's hitting that bass fucking hard at this point. He's letting those notes like burp out aggressively when you hear that, right? That very sublimey thing. He's letting those notes out really, really aggressively, which we don't hear him do a lot because he's, like you said earlier, he's buried in the mix a little bit. But it's more he's there just he's a supporting actor. And this one, I just think this song is just very aggressive. And I think everyone's just on their fucking game.
So what I thought was cool about this song, like it starts out with like that kind of disco beat, which is really rad. It starts out with that, but then it kind of goes into, a typical kind of thing that he did, like the normal kind of reggae beat he does. But then for no reason whatsoever, they're not even like proper transitions or fills. He just kind of like goes wacky on the drums and it gets really fucking loud. And then it just drops right back into that simple beat or simpler beat. But it's very, very, very dub-like, and it reminded me a lot of De Facto. Like, if you go back and listen to Megaton Shot Blast, that De Facto record, the way Cedric plays drums on that record, I feel like was very inspired by something like this. Because sometimes when Cedric hits those snares, he hits them, like, extra hard, or maybe they're turned up in the mix, like, when they're going back in post-production. But, yeah, it just reminded me so much of De Facto. I thought that was super rad because obviously De Facto is amazing. But
so like there are certain parts, like what you were talking about, how things just don't make sense. Like, why are you speeding up? Why are you slowing down? Why are you doing this? It doesn't transition well. And you can hear this is the only song on the album where, and again, like Sly and Robbie are reggae royalty, which I don't understand because the bass is fucking unreal. I think the bass is fantastic. It's the drumming I don't get. The drumming I don't understand, like why it's like reggae royalty, because it's just good hi-hat usage.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's whatevers. But this is the only song that I thought these guys are on the same page, and when one of them speeds up, it's instantaneous. The other one is also speeding up. And it wasn't just like on album here. Like I listened to a lot of like live stuff that they were doing, and a lot of live stuff. I listened to other songs that Sly and Robbie did together, and the live things that they do is so much better than how they translate to recordings. And I don't know why Sly dumbs himself down on the drums on recording when he's such a fantastic drummer. And
Maybe
you would
it's the
never know.
producer? I don't know.
That's Tosh.
You
But
think
you
it's
would-
Tosh? Okay.
It is. I mean, it's.
I mean,
dude,
he's
you
the
would-
band leader essentially. So
You would never
Yeah.
know that Sly is a fantastic drummer unless like you read it or I told you, right? Because he doesn't do
Yeah.
anything crazy.
yeah, that's fair.
It's,
That's fair.
It's bothersome. It's bothersome because he is an unreal drummer.
I mean, I'll take your word
and
for it
the
because I
lyric-
didn't watch any live videos. So
And the lyrics too. Like my favorite like lyric of the whole album is if you are a Chucky, if you are a Chucky.
I just think
I
of the
just-
Sublime version. The way that song
so
stops
good.
and goes, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, Step and Razor. There it is.
Yeah, it's really good. I also wanted to talk about the that chorus. I mean, the chorus is so fucking catchy, and the background vocals, they're a little off time, but it adds a lot of charm to the entire song itself, and I thought that's super killer. And also especially the beginning half of this record, the organ, dude, that organ sucked me in, and I was addicted. I love the organ. It's up there with like the vibraphone or the xylophone, whatever you want to call it. If you got the organ or you got the vibraphone on your song, I'm instantly gonna like it. And this is one of those songs where that organ cuts through the mix really, really nice. And he kind of has like this organ solo at the end. It's so fucking sick. And you mentioned the kind of the bass playing on this song. It doesn't cut through too much in the mix, but there's this. I don't know what effect he's using on his bass, but it sounds like kind of like a frog. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's real guttural. It's very
Yeah, it's very guttural, and it reminds me
Very
of
low
like a
end.
frog. Yeah. Damn, dude, it's fucking good.
I think they have like 3 keyboardists on this album. One of them plays
I think
the clavinet, and there's a couple parts on this album that clavinet sound shines through, and it's just money. It's just money.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
But yeah, Step and Razor is my 1B. Easy.
So
That was-
let's
that's
play a
good
little
talk.
bit of Step and Razor and then Stepping Razor because it's Step in Razor on Sublime, I think, right? But it's Stepping Razor on here.
Well, it's not stepping. It's stepping.
Stepping Razor. So here it is from the Peter Toshes. Stepping Razor from Peter Tosh.
That song is so good.
It is.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
It's a beyond banger. Like this
That's a
this song
beyond
stands
banger.
out. It stands out so much on this record. And really honestly on Robin the Hood, the Sublime record, this is one of the best songs on that record. I mean,
agree.
Cisco Kid is the best song, but this
Well,
song
that's
Cisco Kid, Step and Razor, Free Loop
The Free Loop dub.
Love that. Dude, that song is so good. Love that bass line. Oh my god, it's so fucking amazing. 3 best songs on that record. But anyway, Step and Razor.
Okay.
Do we have anything else on this one?
No, that's it. That's all.
And what's your 2B?
I am that I am that I am that I am.
Is that really your
I am.
2B?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 2B too.
Is it
It's
really?
yeah, dude, it's so fucking good.
Dude, it's the chorus, man. Like Robbie's
is.
bass playing in the chorus just shows how great he is, right? Like
yeah.
accenting certain parts, but letting Tosh explore that melody unencumbered. Tosh is allowed to go onto that stupid fucking melody, which is super catchy, but it's dumb. But then Robbie's back there. Robbie's back there supporting cast at his best. Oscar nom right here. Telling
This
you.
is the way he plays the bass, it matches note for note with Peter, and it's the only time on this entire record that they do that, where they match note for note. It just sounds so good. It's so different from everything else we hear, and I fucking love that part in the chorus when they do that.
This is one that has like the clavinet. Like I think that's what I'm hearing here. It's in the
I
background.
think you're right.
It's pounding out those chords like before they with the tone down type of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, what I get from what you're saying, the clavinet, or maybe it's just the keyboards, I'm not entirely sure, but I get it sounds a lot like Animal Crossing, the music from Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
Like
it's
dating
gotta
back
be the
to,
clavinet.
yeah, I mean, dating back to the very first Animal Crossing on GameCube up through now, it just sounds like it could be in that game somewhere. But Oh, dude, I loved it so much. I got this weird nostalgia just hearing that because I just Animal Crossing is just one of the best games ever. So I have this just crazy nostalgia for it. So just hearing it just made me happy. But then the chorus too, the catchiness of that chorus, it's so simple. It's one of the most simple things he's ever done vocally, or at least on this record. It's just so
Three words.
elementary. Yeah, it's so
that.
elementary.
That's it.
But just the way he sings it too, like there's nothing really complex or complicated about it. It's just so straightforward and just simple. I love it. I think it's just so catchy and it's just so much fun. I love this song. I really do.
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay.
hell, it's so good. But I mean, and then you get like the guitar. It's just the simple upstrokes, which is kind of. I wanted more out of the guitar on this one because there are some great guitar leads in some of these songs, but I was just hoping for a little bit more guitar wise, like throw on some effects, do some wah stuff. I don't know, but no, it was just like the simple, typical upstrokes.
I mean, I think like this song, like lyrically, is like the golden rule song, right? Like do unto others type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening here. So I think he's really trying to hammer that home. And then we hear, because like the way he sings, I am that I am that I am, it's fucking lazy. It's very lazy.
Yeah.
There's very little singing going on. He's just kind of like downscaling, and it's lazy. But then we hear like that like keyboard hit, right? That one note, that ding.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is twice in one episode, but it's very Nittleshins of our lost demo.
You and your
It's
Nittleshins,
ding. I know it's weird that I brought it up in two times in one episode.
Yeah.
Solid song.
Great
Lyrically, didn't age well, but solid song.
Something we will never play ever again.
But that's that loud keyboard note. Like it's there, it's subtle. It doesn't hang out too long, but it hangs out just long enough for you to hear it, and then disappears. This song is just it's very lazy. It's very lazy, and I like that. I like that laziness.
I do too. And I mean, another huge shout out to this album, especially the earlier half of the album, just the little nuances, the little touches of the keyboard and just, certain little guitar effects that are just thrown in there that none of that stuff drives the song along, but it's just there. And the combination of it all just makes it into something very special and very unique. And this is one of those songs. It's a simple song that just drives along, but it's the nuances that really get me, at least. Yeah. I love it. I love the song. So should we play a little bit of it?
Play a little bit.
Here we go.
I am that I am.
Yes, there you go. From Peter Tosh. I am that I am. From Peter Tosh.
It is what it is. It is what it is. What it is.
Oh, I hate that so much.
I will forever sing it like that now.
The title of this song it's gonna be put on our no list.
I am what I am. I am that I am.
I am that I am. I am what I am is what is that? What is that?
I am what I am.
I am what I am. What is that? From Looney Tunes, right?
I always just heard Fred in the Pod Palmer say that shit. I am what I am.
I think it's I'm pretty sure it's Looney Tunes, but I can't think of what character. But anyway, I am that I am. Yeah. So do we have anything else on this one? We touched upon the lyrics a little bit, but do you have anything else on this one?
I mean, if you have more lyrically, I really just think that this is just a golden rule song. Like just do you unto others what you want done unto you?
Agreed. I mean, I put it's about lifting each other up instead of always bringing each other down.
Okay.
But
same concept, right?
Same thing. Yeah, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So let's move on. What do you got for your 3B?
Downpresser Man.
That is my fucking 3B too, you son of a bitch.
Dude, Downpresser Man is so fucking good.
It is really good, yeah.
I think Downpresser Man also like maybe a beyond banger. I think it's so goddamn good. I think Downpresser Man is unreal. We're getting very heavy reggae here. Reggae.
Yeah.
Reggae here. Very, very low end stuff. heavy bass. We're getting the low side of the keyboard. I love how the song is just like verse after verse after verse, not like a real traditional type song.
Yeah.
It's just a long raga jam, man.
It tells more of a story than anything else.
We can, and then like this one too, like this is the second track, but we can really kind of get a hold of like how tight. And even if you don't think the drums are as great as people think they are, and I don't, but like Sly and Robbie are tight. They are so tight.
Yeah.
They are fucking on point. And this is the fucking 70s. Like there's no
I know, right?
there's no going in there in the Pro Tools and pinpointing exactly the microsecond to where it sounds better. Like these guys are probably, and they don't fucking a lot of money to do this shit either. And they're probably high half the time anyway. And the fact that it still came out this tight is unreal. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think it's
know.
unreal.
I totally agree with you on that. On this song, the two standout parts for me are the keyboard's organ as well as the bass, because this is one of the few songs on the record where the bass really kind of lays it down thick. It cuts through the mix really well, so you can really hear what he's playing. But the organ, oh my god, dude, it sounds so nice. It sounds so nice in the mix. At times he's playing like the upstroke of the guitar as well, kind of playing along with the guitar. But then he kind of does these little lead parts throughout the song, and damn, dude, it's so fucking good. The keyboards, organ, and the bass playing just really just are killer on the song. I love it. Really love it.
This one's cool because there's a couple different versions of this that just out there in general. There's a ton of fucking live versions. There's a good like kind of like dub-ish thing on the Legacy edition that extend just kind of like the down presser part, and it's fucking great. And Goldfinger covered this on their first live EP or album.
Did they really? No way.
Yeah, Darren's Coconut Ass is when they covered it.
It's a great title for a live record.
I bought
any record.
Darren's Coconut Ass on CD back in the day. I had it on CD, and it was just like on the CD itself. I think it said like we are in between writing records, so here's like a live CD that we made just to keep you happy for a little while or something like that. It was good. It's a fantastic.
I don't think I've ever listened to it. I really
good.
don't think I have.
Solid.
But Down Presser Man. Let's see here. Oh, another thing I liked about this song, the backup vocals. They're kind of off a little bit, just like what was it? The last song we did, the I Am That I Am. Was it that song? I don't remember. But anyway, they're a little bit off. But the way they set it up in the channel, he was only coming in on the left ear, so it was like sonically this record and this song is really well done. It wasn't just a lot of the same shit in both ears. Like they really kind of tried to mix it up and pan between the different channels and everything like that. They really did a great job production wise and doing all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the backup vocals on this song are also excellent. Just the little, because there's not a lot of it, but when it does hit, it's fucking excellent. So
It hits, baby.
it's real good.
I think this is a beyond banger for me, more so than I Am That I Am. But I think when you like dissect the songs individually, I think that I Am That I Am is a better song. But like Down Presser Man is just, man, it's fucking good. Like it's just it gives me goosebumps. It does.
Yeah, I agree. It's fucking excellent. So let's play a little Brit.
A little Brit.
Little bit.
Oh,
of,
a little Brit.
A little British.
Fucking little, are you a little fucking Brit over there? That's my Brit. That's my little Brit accent. Oh, you little fucking Brit over there. It's terrible.
What kind of accent is that, Skip? Let us know what kind of accent we're speaking, because we don't know.
The best thing
what?
Skip had ever done with us, friend of the pod, Skip, he lives somewhere that's not America. I can't remember where. The best thing he's ever done with us is when he left that message explaining all of the different accents.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
And I legit only understood like two of them. But when I heard him speak them, I was like, oh, I have heard that before. I know what that sounds like, even though I don't know what you're saying. That was one of the coolest things I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my gosh. His
was
breakdown
truly
of
educational.
That, yeah, his breakdown of that was fantastic.
that
God.
was a good one.
I completely forgot about that. Oh, that was so good. Oh boy. Okay, so here's Down Presser Man from Peter Tosh. Down Presser Man from Peter Tosh. I love the way he says Down Presser Man, the way he sings that.
Down.
Yeah.
He goes down.
He goes down,
scales.
yeah. Oof.
This is
Good
like a
stuff,
cover
man.
too, though. Like this is like a rendition of like an old, like African American spiritual song.
Yeah. I think it's called in my notes it says.
Sinnerman.
Well, it was from a song called Sinnerman, but that was derived from a song called No Hiding Place Down Here. And that song was the African American like spiritual song. That's what it has here. But yeah, so this is like the third iteration of it or something like that.
And that's I mean, that is very Peter Tosh, right? If we're
Yeah.
talking just about modern music, and I mean we've said it multiple times that like most, if not all, of modern music comes from like just blues, Delta blues, which
Oh yeah.
is stemming from like spirituals. So it's so Peter Tosh to take a song that started off as a strictly like African American spiritual, and then was translated into like a popular song that was probably done by multiple people in the 50s and 60s, and then like put it back into the hands of like African Americans. That's Peter Tosh. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I think and also like the gist of the song lyrically was about talking about how, wicked men in the world can't hide once, Judgment Day happens. Once Judgment Day comes, like you can't hide forever. Like the evil people can't hide forever. You're going to be found. And I feel like that he's also, with that being said, he's talking about comparing that to, people that oppress other people. You know what I mean? Like the oppressors can't always be on top. You're going to be punished for what you've done.
This is like when I mentioned earlier how Tosh will put on really catchy, really melodic songs with these underlying notes of extreme violence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is. And again, I bring up like Crosby, Stills, Nash, and everybody playing at Woodstock and then releasing albums in the 70s and singing folk songs. Like, fuck that. Awful stuff. Like Peter Tosh is telling he's literally saying that if you're an oppressor, you are about to get fucked. You are going to die. True. I don't know if he's going to do it, but somebody's going to fuck you. You're going to get yours. You're going to get yours.
It's also because, the way he grew up and his entire life was very violent. Like most people in the United States never experienced anything like what he did and other people in Jamaica did. It was way more violent. The way things were, handled were much more violent. So
he did it till fucking like the day he died. Did you read or do you know anything about the One Love concert with Bob Marley and Peter Tosh?
No.
So like there was this concert that was held like in the late 70s in Jamaica, and Bob Marley was like the headliner, and Peter Tosh played before him, and Tosh's set was X amount of minutes, and he spent 75% of that time like literally like looking into the audience at these certain group of politicians and saying, fuck you, you're the worst, I hate you, I hope you die, you are awful. He spent like 35, 40 minutes just berating these politicians.
And didn't he smoke weed the whole time too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he smoked the whole time and was like mocking them almost, or,
but
testing them. Yeah.
There's two big like takeaways from this. The one was when Bob Marley performed, he invited said politicians up and held their hands up and was like, we need unity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bob Marley's awful. Garbage. And the second takeaway is the organizers of said concert were fucking killed. like within like a year or two after this concert.
Oh,
happened.
were they really? No shit.
Yeah. And so you have Peter Tosh up here who's like literally saying, dude, we are getting treated like shit. Specifically, cause we're it's apartheid is going on, and the whole world refuses to believe that this is fucking happening.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing about when we did Endless Summer, right? That was a huge part of why that movie is problematic, is because these two white kids from America decided not to acknowledge the apartheid. But like that wasn't the point of the movie anyway. But like the entire world is kind of like refusing to believe this is happening, what's going on, and Peter Tosh is in the face of danger, knowing that these guys could just have him killed if they want to. He doesn't give a shit. He's just calling them out. He's calling them shitheads. He's saying, "Fuck you! I hate you so much. I wish you were dead. I want someone to kill you." And then Bob Marley fucking holds their hands up and says, "Oh, we should be like working together," because that's awful. And then the organizers of this concert end up dying within like 1 or 2 years.
That's wild.
And that is why like Bob Marley is just a corporate shill. He's a fucking corporate shill.
Yeah, and I mean that could be a big reason also why he's pushed so hard. Yeah, he's pushed so hard in society, American society. Everybody associates him with the weed and chilling and just being so relaxed and what's the word I'm trying to think of?
I think most people
passive. He's known for being very passive from a political standpoint, and we all know
because that sells. It
sells.
That's an easy sell.
Yeah.
You want to be like a little political, but not too much, like Crosby, Stills, Nash. Like these guys are singing their little fucking acoustic songs with Neil Young, and Neil Young thinks like, "This is stupid. You guys are dumb." And he's Canadian, for God's sake. Like fucking Neil Young had more to say about American politics than most Americans.
That's true. Yeah. That's
God,
very true.
So irritating.
Oh boy. All right, so that was both of our 3B, 3Bs. So do we have anything else on this one?
No, that's it.
Okay.
We can get. I mean, yeah.
We're almost done. So what do you have for your 4B?
I mean, that's Get Up, Stand Up.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So like just comparing. This is written, at least co-written with or by Bob Marley.
Correct.
And this is fun fact too. Not fun at all. This is not fun. But this was the last song Bob Marley ever performed on stage before he died.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. But
I would say cool, interesting. Let's just say that.
No, it's cool. It's not fun, like I said earlier. But it's cool. That's a cool song.
Okay, all right.
Because it's like come on, man, Bob Marley, you spent your entire career like making a name for yourself of being political and bullshit and kind of like pussyfooting around like the hard topics. And then the last song you ever play is a hard song that Peter Tosh made harder than the Wailers did. Not as melodic, not as catchy as the Wailers did it, but harder for sure. And the last song Bob Marley ever played was kind of like getting back to his roots, getting back to why they probably started the Wailers. I think that's cool. I like that. I dig it.
Yeah, and with this version of the Tosh version, it's also harder because I feel like the guitar in this song. I honestly didn't go back and listen to the Marley version, but in this one, the guitars are a little bit heavier. He has more leads, and it's just a grittier tone overall than from what I remember of the Bob Marley version. I mean, it's been a while since I listened to it, but I just feel like this one has more of an edge to it than honestly anything Marley had done or that I have ever heard. But I like that. And then also along with this record, this is another song where I feel there's a lot of things going on, a lot of little things going on between the keyboards, the percussive instruments, and everything else kind of meshing together. And I feel like the Bob Marley stuff didn't have that much of that much of the experimentation, I guess.
There's not as much of it. The Bob Marley version, which is not the Bob Marley version, it's just like the Wailers version.
Yeah. Well,
because
you understand.
Because Tosh and Marley do share lead vocals and stuff. It's just it's the nuance that is different. And this was on the last album that they did together. So like the next album, I think was Natty Dread, right? Burn In Natty Dread. Yeah, Natty Dread was the first album that Bob Marley did without Peter Tosh. And so like like this song Get Up Stand Up was the last like official thing that he did with Peter Tosh, and so we're getting like an aggressive song that Peter Tosh wants to write, mixed with Bob Marley has an ego about him now, who wants to be a pop star. He wants to be like the Jamaican Elvis, really.
Yeah.
And so we're getting this clash. And I do think like the Wailers version is better musically. I think there's just a lot of like a lot of contrast, a lot of clashing with what is happening. But I just think like Peter Tosh's version is just super aggressive. And I mean, we can just go into the whole thing about Bob Marley and the Wailers hiring like white people to produce their album. This guy Chris Blackwell, who Peter Tosh fucking could not stand, and they pushed him out. But then Peter Tosh goes and hooks up with like Keith Richards and Mick Jagger, and he fucking hated them too because they don't represent like what Jamaican ideals are like, and it's just
he was very
Peter
much
Tosh
a purist.
so,
it seems like
he was just so misunderstood. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's because like the entire world, even still to this day, just thinks of Jamaica like not the world, mostly America. When I say mostly America, I just mean me. People just see Jamaica as this paradise. I don't think it's that close-minded. I do think it's most of the world, for sure. Like America just sees Jamaica as this like paradise. That's always been a paradise. You're surrounded by beach. It's amazing. Yeah. It's like, no, dude. It's been like they've been getting fucked for so many years. It's just for a century, the decades. They've been getting fucked. They've like the big label that was in Jamaica was started by like a white man, and these people just don't have any like attachment to their culture whatsoever, and that's why Peter Tosh was so apprehensive about working with any of these people.
Yeah,
like the Island record label that most of the stuff was founded upon was started by like a white guy. Like, what the fuck does he know
all
about the
by
plight
guys,
of Peter Tosh? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck does he know? He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, it's just there to make a big buck. It's like what we saw when in the 60s as well when what's his name went down to Brazil. Who the fuck was it? Not Tony Bennett. Who the fuck was it? The white guy, the white singer who went down. Barry Manilow? I don't remember whoever it was went down to Brazil, went down to Rio de Janeiro, and then experienced all the bossa nova style and the different styles in Brazil, and he brought it back to America. And he started playing it, and people fucking loved it. So then, all the record executives went down to Brazil, and they brought in all these like Brazilian guitar players and musicians to profit off of them because it was like the next big thing that was happening in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
I mean, Stan Getz was doing that in the 60s.
Yeah. I mean, but then it started with Gilbert. Oh, fucking, what's his first name? Gilbert.
João Gilberto?
João Gilbert. Dude, what is wrong with me? I can't say his name.
He was a fucking Brazilian.
He was Brazilian.
Guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was only brought into the scene because I think Tony Bennett went down to Brazil and kind of not discovered that style, but he saw it and then infused a little bit of it into his own pop music, and that's what kind of exploded here in the United States in the late 50s. And then all these Brazilian artists were signed to American labels and then essentially used and made no money because the record executives just pumped out records for them, but they made no fucking money.
I think that's just like the biggest difference between Bob Marley and Peter Tosh is both of them. And like the whole thing with Bob Marley, he's half white, right? Like that's a huge point of contention with purists of reggae, saying that Bob Marley can never be pure, can never be as good as anybody else because his dad supposedly, and I think it's now been like checked as factual. His dad was a white guy, and so he can never quite be like 100%. And so there's just.
But he also spent parts of his life here in the United States. Like he lived in Delaware and I think a couple other states as well. Like he didn't spend his entire life down in Jamaica like Peter Tosh did.
Well, they grew up in the same parts,
did.
and they were ruffians, and they were hood kids, and they did hood rat stuff with their friends, and but like that's the difference between the two is I think Bob Marley really did want to make a better life for Jamaicans. I just think they did it in a very different way. Whereas I do think Bob Marley, and it's a dumb childish words to say sellout, but I do think Bob Marley wanted to make a lot of money, and that there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No,
and
not at all.
that's his prerogative, and he's entitled to do that because he's writing all of the music. Whatever, who gives a fuck? But I think that's the path that he chose, which is going to lend him to be that Legend album is legit like the top 10 best-selling albums of all time. Whereas Peter Tosh chose the more militant approach, and just because
it just wasn't as commercial. That's what it was. They couldn't sell it as well.
Because of the Illuminati, anything you do that's militant is just not going to get as much airplay. It's just not going to happen.
Why he was assassinated. Same with all the other ones. Everybody else.
Dude, I don't. After reading like half of this shit about like Jamaica, like I don't fucking. All these people are fucking corrupt. All these politicians in Jamaica. Were
100%, 100%.
After reading that One Love concert and the fact that the organizers were killed several years after that, and Peter Tosh, I mean, dude, like multiple times, a year or every 2 years, he was just pulled aside and beat to shit by police, like not just like roughed up, like beat to shit.
Yeah.
Like
and then what was it in the like 1966 or 67? He was driving with his girlfriend at the time, and they got in a head-on collision. And she died, but he had like major like skull like fractures in his skull, but he survived, obviously. And then he eventually died in 87. But yeah, he got in this crazy fucking car accident and recuperated, and then did all this shit too. That's just fucking nuts. It's all the dreads, but it's just crazy how much this guy went through. I mean, living on like having your parents abandon you, living on the streets essentially, you know. Creating this band with Bob Marley and everybody else, and then I don't know, it's just what a crazy fucking life. What a crazy
Bob
life.
Marley, like just I guess we can wrap it up at some point pretty soon. I don't think I have anything really equal rights. I'd like to whatever. I don't really care. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean we don't need to talk about it. That's my 5B, and then African is my 8B. Those are the only two songs we haven't talked about.
Just very, very political, very, very aggressive in their call to arms stuff. But I mean, I'm already in the motion of doing my Rucka wrap up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's
I'm
do
already
it then,
I'm ready to go. No.
Let's do it.
I will say that there would be no Bob Marley without Peter Tosh. Just straight up, it would not. It would not 100%. Exist. It would not exist. Peter Tosh can still make a career without Bob Marley for sure. But there would be no Bob Marley without Peter Tosh. Peter Tosh is not a historic musician. He's not a historic guitar player, but he's pretty fucking good. Mm-hmm. He is pretty fucking good. He's like whoever plays for Iron Maiden. I don't know. Who cares? Because Steve Harris is fantastic. So Peter Tosh is more of a guy that is taking a genre of music that is very, very regional, and then militarizing it, not just for Jamaicans, but for like black people. In like the song African, he's not just calling upon like Jamaicans, he's calling on all black people on earth. But then it's kind of like even this other thing of like, dude, you don't need to be black to support just equal rights. And then go back one track to equal rights itself. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be a minority to realize that like we aren't getting treated fairly. And this is like the 70s, and this is a time when Woodstock and is just ending, and we're getting into like Zeppelin dropping albums, and everyone's dropping albums that are stealing from black musicians in the 20s and stuff, and pretending they didn't do it, and it's whatever, that's fine, okay, I don't know. But here we got Peter Tosh. He's ready to fucking fight. Peter Tosh is ready to die for what he believes in. And as far as I'm concerned, until the day he died, he was still trying to help his murderer. And that's what I'm going to go to my deathbed thinking, is that Peter Tosh is a man of the people. He's a man of the underclass. Yeah, and to his deathbed, he was trying to help the guy that he probably even fucking knew he was going to die. And he was still trying to help him, even though it was an assassination attempt. Not attempt, it was succeeded. Yeah, it was an assassination, and Tosh had no chance. But even until the second he died, he was still trying to help the underclass. That's a man of the people, baby.
Yeah, I agree.
Bob Marley
I
never.
agree.
Bob Marley got cancer in his fucking bunions and died. Not that that's funny. That's really fucked up. I shouldn't make
It's
fun of that. But comparatively, like one gets like assassinated in his home by some guy he tried to help, and the other one gets bunion cancer. But
Foot
yeah,
cancer,
I think it was like a toe or something. But
Yeah,
because
it
of
was
the
his toe, yeah.
Rastafarian beliefs, they didn't operate or something. I don't know.
yeah. They wanted to get like local remedies or natural remedies or something like that. It was
Which
like
again,
Andy Kaufman was the same way.
Yeah,
He had-
I
he had
respect
cancer,
that. I
but
do.
yeah.
I think society is overly medicated anyway, and who knows? I mean, just because Bob Marley, had he got chemo, he may not have survived. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
Probably
we don't
not.
know.
I don't know. But yeah, this is. I think this is the greatest reggae album of all time. I really do, because it blends all of the things that reggae music stands for, and all of the things that people that want other people to understand kind of the plight of reggae is really about. It's equal parts fucking rhythm. I think Robbie as a bass player he's fucking phenomenal. I think he's unreal. I think he's great. I think he's a fantastic supporting guy. Musically, I think this album is great, and I think it has a message. It's militant, it's aggressive, but it's put like underneath these, like, I guess what the new kids would call like these revolution, these fucking pepper sounds.
God, I hate Pepper so much. Fucking hate that band. Slightly Stupid, so bad.
If you take out Revolution's first album, Revolution is equally as trash.
True. No, you're right.
Trash album. Trash band, I should say. That first album was fantastic, but that band is trash. I just think Peter Tosh accomplished something that has never been accomplished before by any other reggae musician. And I think this is perfect. This is a perfect reggae album. This is I mean, that's a no-brainer. It does everything that I want it to do and more.
That's a bold statement.
It's not a bold statement at all.
All right, my final thoughts, very similar to yours. It has a great blend of the militant, lyrics, the kind of aggressive lyrics. If you can be aggressive in reggae, he does it really well. There's enough pop melody here to not be annoying like a lot of later stuff that he does and most everybody else does. Musically, I mean, there are just so many nuances to some of these songs. There's so many layers to kind of unpack, and it's fucking great the way that they were just able to intertwine everything and just make it just sound so perfect and just fill up so much space but never be too crowded and never too convoluted. It's fucking fantastic. There's some amazing stuff on here. So with that, I'm going to give it a perfect 3 out of 3 as well.
Oh,
I got to do it. Yeah, this is a perfect record. This is a perfect record, man.
Oh,
It is.
it's so fucking good.
This and Legalize It are perfect records. They really are.
I agree. I think Legalize is perfect. I just if I had to knock it down, it's just I don't think it's as honed in. I don't think it's as aggressive as this one.
It's not as refined.
Splitting hairs at that point.
Yeah. But that's fine. Like I don't need two equal rights. I don't need to legalize it. I'm fine having two things, that have their kind of quirkiness, I guess you could say.
I think like overall, Bob Marley had more. I don't know why I keep comparing the two, but like Bob Marley had more better songs, but
just melodies, pop melodies. That's it.
Bob Marley never had equal rights. Bob Marley never had to legalize it. Never.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right on that one. Oh boy! All right, so we have anything else?
And then Bob Marley went and fucking cried to like Lee Perry and like poached his band.
Did he
got
really
a bunch
do
of
that?
guys from the Upsetters. Yeah, he got like the bass player and the drummer from the Upsetters to come and play on a bunch of his fucking albums. God, Bob Marley, dude. Get over yourself, people. People.
I'm not even going to try to do that. But all right, so do we have anything else on this one?
That's it. That's all, kid.
Peter Tosh's? Okay. All right, well, thank you all for listening. Give us 5 stars and tell all your friends, because we are the best podcast in the world. So that's it. That's all.
Come on. One of their first
Fucking
shows, if
shit.
not their first. No, it was fantastic. I love that first album. I think it's fantastic.
Well, you like theater rock, theater kid rock. You know, that's your thing. So
Yeah, that's if you want to condense me down to one thing, it is theater
That's your
kid
thing.
rock. Yes, you're correct. What's speaking of Sublime, what is your 1B?
you know what my one be.
That's my 1B.
Wow,
too.
and you set that one up real nice. Yeah,
I
Step
knew
and
it.
Razor.
Yeah, it's not gonna not be your 1B. It's so fucking good. It's come on.
I Am That I Am from Peter Tosh.
It is what it is. It is what it is. What it is.
So let's play a little Brit.
A little Brit.
Little bit.
Oh, a
of,
little Brit.
A little British.
Fucking little, you little fucking Brit over there. That's my Brit. That's my little Brit accent. Oh, you little fucking Brit over there. It's terrible. That's a man of the people, baby.
Yeah, I agree.
Bob Marley
I
never.
agree.
Bob Marley got cancer in his fucking bunions and died. Not that that's funny. That's really fucked up. I shouldn't make
It's
fun of that. But comparatively, like one gets like assassinated in his home by some guy he tried to help, and the other one gets